What's up, gang? Good morning, afternoon, or evening. I'm Noodle, and today I'll be comparing one of the most notoriously powerful builds in Diablo 2 Resurrected with its new contender. This is the old Lightning Strike Amazon versus the new version of the Lightning Strike Amazon using Infinity in a +3 Zon Spear. I'm actually very excited to put these against each other since the Javazon was one of my favorite builds back in the day, so without too much more of a delay, let's get to the action. For the gear on the various versions of Thor's little sister, I'll try to keep everything as close as possible so we can see a fair comparison between the two. I know over half the D2 community has never held a live Infinity before, which is totally cool because I didn't either for at least the first 20 years of Diablo 2, which is why this video is being made. I want everyone to have an idea on how this build fares against itself. For the weapons between the two contenders, we have Infinity in a +3 Zon Spear on one of them, and then a Thunderstroke with a Storm Shield on the other one. For the gloves, we have some 2 skill, 20 attack speed rares, a skill ring of your choice, and a Raven Frost for the CBF, Thunder Gods because it's fucking Thunder Gods, War Traps for the high-end Magic Find. For this test, I had both using a Chains of GG for the very much needed resistance, but you can also use an Enigma instead, High Lords for the skill and attack speed, and Griffin's Eye for the obvious benefits to lightning skills. I only used 4 skillers and a torch for this one with no facets. As usual, this can be pushed further with more skillers and facets, and anything can be swapped out for whatever the hell you want to use. This is just what I'm using to showcase this incredible build and its contender. For the skills at Thrillz, we have 1 point into a few of the passives, skipping Pierce of course, 20 points into Lightning Strike, 20 into Charge Strike as our boss killing 1-tap skill, and then as many as we can dump into the remaining synergies for Lightning Strike. For the Stattatas on this one, we have just enough strength and dex to wear all of our shit unless you're going max block with a Storm Shield setup, and then the rest go into Vitality. For the Merc, it changed just a bit depending on which build I was doing. The Infinity Spearzon used a Harmony Act 1 Cold Merc since it uses the rune word itself, making this one move through the battlefield much faster, albeit a little less tanky. And the Javan Shield version used an Infinity Act 2 Cold Aura, and while it may be a bit slower, it's pretty damn good at not dying. The playstyle on both builds is rather simple, where you set Lightning Strike on whatever button you desire and just hold it down until the whole screen is left in crispy piles of demons. There wasn't a whole lot of variance at all between the two builds since there isn't anything to buff with, so the only thing you really need to pay attention to is your health globe, and occasionally your mana globe. I will say there's definitely a difference in tankiness, so if it were a question of which one to use on hardcore, I would hands down recommend the max block shield version unless you feel like replacing keyboards. Objectively, the builds clear any breakable lightning immune zone extremely fast and have the capability of even doing Ubers with slightly different sets of gear. I put them both up on the Cal Clapometer to really see the difference, and Brittany Spearzon got a rather quick 4 minutes and 23 seconds, while Brittany not Spearzon got 4 minutes and 29 seconds. It seems like the faster attack speed from the Javs made up for the slower run speed, bringing them very close on the Clapper. In my opinion, I think the new Spearzon is definitely fun, and it's cool to be using the Infinity on yourself rather than a mercenary, but overall it felt more gimmicky than effective. I found myself dying a little bit more often comparatively speaking, and while they both did perform well, they're still outclassed by the goddess that is the Lightning Fury Amazon, and for that, I'm gonna have to give this one a 6.9 out of 10. Do me a favor and subscribe if you haven't already, and like this video so more people can see it, as I know there's a huge portion of the community who can benefit from one part of this or the other. I stream all of my leveling, farming, and Uber operations live on Twitch quite a few times a week, so if you're looking for some live interaction and entertainment, make sure you follow from the link in the description down below. There will be a few other helpful links, like one of the Noodle Gang Discord, where a lot of us have been hanging out lately, so don't be a stranger and come on in. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. Happy grinding, travelers, and I'll see you next week.